a mask, it like leaves an imprint, and so I have to like comb it out with a mustache, with a beard comb. And I didn't do that before the pod. I've just been like, I cleaned up the kitchen. I had a quick snack because I'm not getting dinner until after. Cracked open my beer or
Yeah.
my near beer today. It is a Corona, non-alcoholic Corona. I assume we're recording. Not
Oh
just
yeah,
showing
we're
it to you.
recording. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That.
I think
How
it's fine to
everybody?
show non-alcoholic beer in like the first minute or so. I don't know what YouTube's like.
I think it's fine, right? It's got no alcohol in it. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's got like less than 0.5%. It says so. That's like less than a percent, which is totally fine. That's acceptable for me.
Exactly.
Again, I'm not drinking that much. I'm not drinking at all this month. I'm doing dry January. I haven't drank at all. Haven't had a sip since New Year's.
Mm.
Um, been good. What's new with you, man? What's been? I always feel like I start off. I'm gonna start off with you, man. What's been going on with you in your life?
What has been going on with me? A little bit of work, not a whole lot. Maybe like 2, 3 days a week, roughly. So in between all that, I kind of like hang out with like my parents, our parents' friends, or like my friends in my own personal circle, and catch up on a few things that I've been meaning to catch up on. Like I watch a few movies here and there, play a little bit of video games. So yeah, you know.
Far out, man. Any good movies you've seen this week?
Well, two movies that I've seen this week. One good, one terrible. So I saw Butterfly Kisses, which definitely is not what you expect the movie to be like based on the title. It's basically about this Slender Man-like figure that this documentary crew tries to like capture. They failed at it. The footage gets found later by a wedding videographer, and he tries to put the film together for like theatrical release to make money off of it while also getting the truth out there. And it's a social commentary on found footage films as well as like the whole world about it, and like whether or not it's actually right to do things like that, you know. And similar to like what true crime documentaries do, where they take like very real cases but popularize it and make money off of it, despite the fact there are real people that are affected and involved by this type of shit.
Oh, I see. So it's like it comments on the exploitative factor of things of this nature. So like things that take real world events and retell them or show the footage of them. That's kind of why I don't like watching true crime documentary. I mean, like maybe it's good to be informed, right? But like I watched like I think I've talked about it before. I watched the Ghislaine Maxwell documentary on Netflix, it was a documentary, not a docu series. But it was, oh man, it was just, it was hard to watch, dude. And then like there's a docu series about the missing Malaysian Airlines flight, which actually provided a lot more information than I knew at the time. But also it's just like still like this impacted people's lives. It impacted a
Yeah,
lot of people's lives. It's like it's fucked up.
it's
Anyway,
harrowing. It really is. Yeah.
yeah.
And then the other movie that I saw that wasn't as great was VHS Viral. Because I
Oh,
like
is
the
that part of that VHS series?
it is, and I like the first two VHS films. I did not like Viral. I mean, one short was pretty good, Dante the Great. It was pretty good, but the way it ended was almost like a superhero movie franchise. You know what I mean? Like a big epic fight, and then the villain gets their comeuppance. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the fight actually seemed very similar to like the final fight in the movie Chronicle, which Chronicle did it so much better because it was the build up that led to that. That was like well done.
Oh yeah, for sure. I need to
Yeah.
watch Chronicle again. That's a great Dane DeHaan movie.
Oh,
Anyway,
it's phenomenal. I think his only other good work is probably Spider-Man 2, weirdly enough, and then what was it? A Cure for Wellness. I like that movie a lot. That was a good movie.
Cure for. I've heard of that one. I feel. Wait, Cure for Wellness. What's that about?
So this guy who works in like a financial district, basically his higher ups tell him it's like, okay, like we know that you are not as good as you think you are, so we're gonna fire you, but we'll give you a second chance if you help go look for the CEO who's lost in the Swiss Alps at this healthcare facility. And he's like, okay, and then he just goes there, and it turns out it's like very, very like interesting, this healthcare facility. Like they seem like nice and everything, they really want you to like, you know, to get better for whatever ails you, but it's harboring a darker secret behind it.
Is it like a cult or something?
A little bit, with a little bit of supernatural elements, and and it's very well done. It harkens back to like kind of 50s and 60s like monster movies in terms of like style and aesthetic. Like just the whole period feel of the whole movie is very interesting.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Plus, it's got a pretty stacked cast. It's got Dane DeHaan, Mia Goth, and Jason Isaacs.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I'll check it out. Because I think I've heard of that one. That is set in like a hospital type thing.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. So anyway.
Yeah. And it's definitely the build up to the actual like real body horror elements that are like real brutal. There's a scene where like they do like an invasive like thing on a character's tooth, and it is fucking brutal.
Oh, is it like zooming and shit and showing you like all the little details and stuff?
Oh, they just like have like a single frame camera shot of like literally a drill going into the front of their teeth. Like it's insane.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Body horror is like hard to watch. I was like, my friend and I were trying to figure out what movies to watch, what movie to watch last night, and then we were scrolling through Hulu selection. I guess they have Infinity Pool on there, and I just don't want to watch Infinity Pool again. That movie was whack. Anyway.
No, I think the best Cronenberg film is definitely a Videodrome as well as The Fly. Those are really, really good films.
Have not seen The Fly yet. I did see. He did Crash, right? Let me hold on.
I don't know if that's him or not. You might be thinking of another David.
I think it might be Cronenberg because it's some weird body horror. Let me look up
Okay.
the Crash film because I'm pretty sure it's Cronenberg.
Because I know there's like 3 major Davids in Hollywood that like does very strange films. David Fincher, David Lynch, and David Cronenberg.
It is Cronenberg, yeah.
It is Cronenberg. What the
Crash
fuck?
is a good one. Crash is so it's the 1996 film. I guess there's a 2004 film with the same name, but I don't know if they're related.
Oh, was that the one that won the Academy Award? Because I know there was a film called Crash that won an Academy Award, even though it didn't deserve it.
I don't know if it was this Crash, but maybe it was the other Crash. I mean, this one.
Might have been the other Crash. The other Crash had like a weirdly stacked cast, and I was like, what the fuck?
Well, this one got a pretty low rating. I mean, it's a weird movie. So basically, Crash is about like here. Let me read the synopsis because it's a little hard to explain. About the strange lure of the auto collision, provoking as it does the human fascination with death and the tendency to eroticize danger. And so it's about like this group of individuals who like. So there's this guy, right? He like gets into like a bad car crash that like he's got to be in the hospital for a little bit. It doesn't necessarily cripple him. He gets better, but like he meets this like group of people who like get turned on by like car crashes, and so they're just pursuing that and get into all these nasty accidents and stuff, and it's just weird, and it is also interesting. It's very odd. I saw it. I remember the particular time I saw it. I saw it with my friend Revel and his ex, because they wanted to go see it. It was at a theater in San Francisco. They were like, it was one theater that was doing a showing. It's like apparently one of the old. I think it's the oldest running theater in San Francisco. I don't remember which one it is. But there was some attendant who came out and shared that factoid. But anyway, so we checked that out, and it was cool to be in that theater setting to watch the movie. And I thought it was well done. It's just fucking weird. So I'd recommend it if like you're in the mood for it. You have to be in a particular mood for it. But anyway, that's a Cronenberg movie I've seen. I want to see Videodrome. I want to see The Fly. I think Infinity Pool is by one of the other Cronenbergs, like his son or something, right?
Yeah, it's his son. And to his credit, it sounds like it carries on the spirit of like Cronenberg and what his vision is in terms of his films, but it is an interesting watch.
Infinity Pool is, but it's very. I mean, Mia Goth does a great job. I think it's Alexander Skarsgård who's in it. He does a great job.
Yeah, from The Northman. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's The Northman's sick. Anyway, but it's a weird movie, and it left me very uncomfortable. It was one of the few movies that like me and Kate wanted to walk out of. But anyway,
I think like Alexander Skarsgård's best work though is not only The Northman. He was phenomenal in that, but also the movie Mute. He's very good in that.
Mute. What's that one about?
So that one is basically, it takes place in the distant future. Like, I say distant future, but really it's probably like 20 or 30 years from now, basically. But this guy who is, when he was a kid, he was part of this like strict religious group, kind of like almost like the Amish. Basically, they rejected most
Oh,
forms of technology and technological advancements. He has a near fatal incident where he loses the ability to speak, and so his
oh,
parents don't have him get that fixed because they're like, we don't accept technology or anything like that, so we're not going
right.
to get
Like
that
as far
fixed.
as like medical advancements included. Yeah, totally.
Exactly. So he grows up with that like scarred over, and he like can't speak. So like falls in love with a girl, and then the girl goes missing, and he's trying to figure out what the hell happened to her, and he goes down this neo noir kind of like rabbit hole of like what happened to her, and involves like an ex and whatnot, and it's crazy, and it's his performance is so good despite the fact he doesn't say a fucking word in most of the movie.
Well, that's got to be one of the most important things is just the expression, the body language he uses. It's got to
Yeah.
that's the way he's acting. That's the way he can communicate in that movie. So that's really cool. I like movies that do that kind of concept where the main character doesn't say a word or anything. Like that
Yeah.
was one of the components I actually liked about what was it called? Silent Night. Anyway,
Yeah.
um,
There's a scene in the movie. I won't give anything away, but basically something happens, and he has to like cry and scream, and you see the pain in his face. Like he's screaming, like he's really letting the pain well out, but he's not saying a single word because he can't. So he's just making a silent scream as you just rely on his face to express all that pain.
yeah, totally, yeah.
And it's phenomenal. I honestly think he's one of the most underrated actors out there. He's really good.
The scores are all really good.
Yeah.
Was it Bill who played Pennywise?
Yes. Yeah.
That's right. He was also in Barbarian. That was sick. Oh my god,
Yeah.
Barbarian's crazy. Anyway,
Oh, and then there's
yeah,
also the other son too, Gustav Skarsgård. He's Floki from Vikings.
no way.
That's another Skarsgård. Yeah.
That's crazy. He was
Yeah.
really good in Vikings too.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
It's funny too. Bill was telling the story about how him and his brothers got into acting. At least a few of them, because I think there's like
mhm.
8 kids, and only 3 or 4 of them went into acting.
That's a lot of damn. Stellan was putting in that work, man. Anyway,
Stellan can fuck.
Stellan can fuck, dude.
But anyways, Bill was telling the story about how him and his brothers got into acting because Stellan, whenever he gets a new role, he would always like take his kids onto the set and to show like this is what Dad does for a living.
Hmm.
And so when you're like 8 or 9 years old, watching your dad run around with a gun and a mustache, basically playing pretend for a living, that's enticing. So they were like, if he gets to play pretend for a living, I want to do that. That'd be cool.
I mean, that's all that. That's pretty. If you boil it down, that's all acting is playing pretend. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, of course, doing it, you have to do it well to sell it. You have to like, fall into a character. You have to be believable. Like,
And so far, all 3 of them that we've seen like do really well. Like everything they've done is like phenomenal.
Bill was great in John Wick 4. That was sick. He was a good
Yeah.
villain.
I never
Uh,
thought I'd see such a charming Skarsgård play such a fucking asshole that I want Keanu Reeves to put a bullet in his face.
no, seriously, he was such a cunt in that movie. But yeah, no, they're all fantastic. So kudos to the Skarsgårds. Kudos to their dad Stellan for showing them the way.
Yeah. Oh, and his fucking
Stellan's a
best
great
role.
actor.
His best role is definitely In Order of Disappearance. Like that is one of the best Stellan Skarsgård movies I've ever seen.
What's that one about?
That one, he plays a Scandinavian snowplow driver who loses his son to like a freak crime related incident, and so just before he tries to kill himself, his son's friend tells him, "It's like, yo, dude, your son was killed by like these gang leaders and whatnot because he was into like crime and shit," and he's like, okay, I'm gonna turn that pain outwards and kill every single member of the gang that got my son killed.
Oh, so basically Stellan's playing Scandinavian John Wick. Sweet. Okay, cool.
Basically, yeah. Like it's quite interesting because he's not an old man, but he's like older. So like just seeing like this dude like just like have old man strength, just beating the shit out of these dudes, and then
Oh, wait, no,
sniper
it's like-
rifling all of them too. Yeah, at the
Like
same time.
Scandinavian old boy is what it is.
Yeah.
That's
It's like
sick.
Old Boy. Yeah.
I gotta check that out. What's it called again?
In Order of Disappearance.
Okay,
Yeah.
bet.
They actually had an American remake with Liam Neeson as the star, and the movie was called Cold Pursuit.
huh.
Yeah.
That's yeah, because Snowplow. Um, I can see that they would have Liam Neeson play in the American one.
Yeah, but it
Um,
was like so Americanized. It had like more like fast paced action moments, whereas like this one was more realistic in a sense. Where it's like this is a dude who likes hunting in his free time and then start driving a snowplow. He's not going to be a professional assassin, so of course it's going to be very realistic in how he
it's
dispatches
like
these guys.
gritty and like raw. Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's
totally.
very raw.
Man, I like films like that that have this very I well, it's not always it's not fun to watch. Obviously, it's supposed to make you uncomfortable. But I like when the violence is intentionally very realistic and not so like John Wick's like entertaining, but it's cartoonish sometimes the way that people die and stuff, and it's less impactful because just a bunch of faceless henchmen who get like flipped around and shot in the face or whatever it may be. And
Exactly,
then
where
like
people praise Old Boy for its like very realistic depiction of like self defense and like violence and whatnot. It's very
it's
much
just sloppily punching people and takes a fucking hammer to some guy's face and anyway, that
exactly.
hallway scene is like one of my favorites of that movie. That was sick.
Oh, dude, that hallway fight scene basically defined all of Daredevil season 1 and 2.
It was all it influenced every Hollywood fight every hallway fight scene for the next like 20 years.
Exactly, it's like how Batman Arkham City defined every like fighting game ever that involves like taking on multiple opponents at once.
Right, dude, the mechanics that Arkham Asylum and Arkham City had, the Arkham games, just those mechanics have been used now in like every game that has hand to hand combat with your character.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, yeah. Anyway, it's fantastic, and I like I like when the violence is hyper realistic and slow and just kind of like very. I don't want to use the word raw again. It's very
Organic. Yeah.
organic. It's like it's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to like you see someone commit an egregious act of violence, and you're like, "Fuck, we're not supposed to do that." You know, like that's the
Yeah.
reaction you should have. And I like when those movies use that to kind of show that, and that's kind of like that's one of the components of like of Django Unchained, right? That's what, like one of the reasons I like that movie so much is like it makes the violence against the slaves very slow and intense and just hard to watch.
Yeah.
And of course, like it's a fantasy kind of film, right? So the violence against the white people is like cartoonish and
Yeah.
sloppy and quick. Um, it's making a point, you know what I mean? But anyway,
Yeah.
so
It's because of like the separation between the quick, satisfying kill and the drawn out violence. Whereas like you said, the violence against the white people, it's like they already build them up to be very dastardly, evil individuals. So like you seeing that satisfying, quick kill is like, oh, it hits the perfect nerve.
yeah, exactly.
Whereas like with the drawn out violence, it's like it doesn't feel like satisfying because it's drawn out. It's an out of an act of desperation, like because you feel that these two individuals know that one is gonna have to come out on top, otherwise you're gonna die. So like it's just very gut wrenching to see that.
Yeah, and I mean Tarantino has always done a great job of that. Even you see in like Reservoir Dogs, like he doesn't even have to show the violence on screen. He can pan the camera to like the shadows, like in Reservoir Dogs during that the famous torture scene,
Oh yeah,
right? And you just feel that intensity. I mean,
yeah.
he's always been great at that. But
And that's
he
actually why
does
I
it.
love The Witch because they don't have direct violence for the most part. It's more or less implied. Yeah.
The Witch is one of those really. I remember watching that. I was high off my ass, but no, it was a great movie. I took like a really strong edible with like my uncle and one of our. Actually, it was the so well I call him my uncle. So my old college roommate and his brother. His brother was over, and his brother brought his boyfriend, and so the boyfriend my college roommate and myself, we all took edibles while watching The Witch, which was hilarious because I remember at one point, so the boyfriend didn't really do them or whatever as that often.
Yeah.
So he turns to me, his eyes are super red, and he's just like he's like smiling. I'm like, yeah, dude, um, hella fun.
Bruh.
Anyway, so but no, The Witch is like a really that was a really intense movie. It's really drawn out stuff. It's not like visually. It's not like extremely violent. I mean, there's just like one of the scenes that really sticks with me that feels kind of violent, but doesn't really show a lot of physical acts of violence or any really, is it's the scene where the kid is like dying or whatever. He's like possessed and like preaching and
Yeah.
whatever, and like raising up to the sky, and like then he just
Yeah.
fucking dies, and like that shit like that sticks with me. That scene like fucked me up after I watched it.
No, the scene that fucked me up was when the infant like went missing, and then you pan eventually in the movie to the infant in its like the witch's lair, and you see just like a small child just like laying on like like a quickly made like cot, like almost like a sacrificial altar than a cot. You see like the witch kind of like running the knife across like gracefully, so it's not like cutting the kid, but you know exactly what's gonna happen. And they pan to the next scene, and you're still fucked up because you know exactly what this person did to that child.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It doesn't show the violence. It really just does a good job of setting it up and
yeah.
letting you to the imagination.
Because there's only
That
so
was.
much what your mind can create,
Mhm.
or there's only so much like you can see on screen that like you're like, oh, this is disgusting, this is horrible. But if you're left to your own imagination on what's gonna happen based on the setup, it's way more terrifying
No,
than the
totally.
actual visual act.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That was a Robert Eggers movie, right?
it is. Yeah, yeah.
He's really good at those timepieces.
Oh yeah, I want to see him make a pirate movie so bad. I really want to see him
Well,
attempt to
he
make it.
wants to make a pirate movie, doesn't he?
I think so. Yeah, I've heard somewhere.
I thought I heard like in an interview he was talking about, or like I read about an interview he'd done that said he wants to do a pirate movie. But
Well, because
anyway,
I know he doesn't want to do a film set in like modern days. Like, what's the point of that? That's boring. Like, I want to do like all kinds of crazy period pieces, and I'm just like, dude, do a pirate movie, please, for the love of God, do a pirate film. I want to see the absolute brutality you come up with in this shit.
I think that'd be sick if we did like a Blackbeard movie. That'd be cool.
Oh, dude! And I know just the guy to play Blackbeard, Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem. That would be a great cat. He would be. Yeah, he'd kill it.
Either that or Jeffrey Dean Morgan, one of those two, because they both look alike anyways. So
They do both look like Blackbeard, and they do look similar enough. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think Javier Bardem would be sick, dude.
yeah. Or actually, better
Um,
yet, get Jake Gyllenhaal and just give him brown contact lenses.
yeah,
Because
yeah, that'd be sick,
Blackbeard
dude.
was described as being like very like deathly stare. Like his whole theatricality was like he had like literally lit like wicks in his beard, and so in the
Mhm.
dead of night you see nothing but like a ghastly face illuminated by fire in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it's like a lot of other sailors thought he was like a demon and stuff because of like the smoke that would be created on his face and stuff from the the wicks. Yeah,
Yeah.
that fool was nuts.
And no offense to Jake Gyllenhaal, but he does have a little bit of bug eyes if he loses enough weight. So like, I think he can really pull off the look as well as the
He
acting. So yeah,
he has for sure bug eyes. That motherfucker was buggy in Nightcrawler.
this motherfucker was locked in every time he was driving.
Oh my god, yeah, that movie. I need to watch that movie again. It's so sick. There's just so many movies out, and there's so many movies that have been done that I want to check out. Like
Yeah.
this week, we went out to. Oh, I went out to the movies actually. We were going out 3 times this week now. So we saw Mean Girls on Monday, the
Ooh.
new one with
Anna
Renee Rapp.
Renee
Anna
Rapp,
Glory
yeah.
Rice, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was really enjoyable. I had a really fun time. So it's not, and of course it's like a retelling of like the 2004 flick, which is a retelling of a book apparently. But it's based off it's like the musical one, the Broadway musical, right? So it's got a lot of numbers, which I think the numbers are great. I had a really fun time with it. It's really cool. It's hilarious. It was just fun. I had a fun time with
Yeah.
it. I'd recommend it. You don't necessarily have to go see it in theaters, but if you want to, go for it. If you've got you've got your movie pass thing as well, so
Yeah.
utilize that.
I'm still sitting on the free ticket, so I'm thinking of using that for like Wonka at some point. So yeah.
Wonka's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Wonka's surprisingly emotional. It's very whimsical, so it's really fun. It's very like out of a Roald Dahl book, which is cool.
Yeah.
And I mean Timothy Chalamet isn't particularly impressive as Wonka, but he I think he does a fine job.
Yeah.
With his rendition. He's not like like the summation I would make is like you couldn't imagine him growing into Gene Wilder. So it's not really a prequel, but it's like just
Yeah.
a kind of a retelling of like Wonk, I guess. But anyway, I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
And the other movie we saw this week, what did we go see? I think we went out. We went out Wednesday. Oh, we saw American Fiction. That's right. I
Oh,
don't
is
know why I
that
keep forgetting
good?
that.
Is that good?
Yeah, it was actually. It was really. It's really funny. I love Jeffrey Wright. I think he's like definitely like one of the best actors working today. I think he's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
He's versatile. He really like does a good job at showing emotion. So like the movie. So it's about like it's about a writer, particularly an African American writer. He it's kind of the whole point of the movie is like he gets lost in the mix and he's trying to like I guess he's like a college professor. He's a very intense one, so they ask him to take time off, and so like in that time he has to go. He goes. What's the reason he goes back home? He goes back home to visit family. And it mostly focuses on the family dynamics. So like it's about like his sister and his mom and his brother and reconnecting with them and also like helping them through their struggles or like trying to navigate all that doesn't necessarily not everything gets resolved completely by the end of the movie, but anyway. And
Yeah.
then in the meantime he's like trying to like get published again. His books that he has written aren't selling well, but he runs across this one author who like writes about I think it's a fiction about like growing up in the ghetto and stuff, and it uses a lot of like vernacular that's like very I don't know what the term for it is, but it's kind of like the vernacular that's associated with like with that sort of lifestyle, like the ghetto and being from a lower socioeconomic background and blah blah blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
gets like really bothered by that, and so he decides to write like a fake book under a pseudonym about like a fugitive, and it's supposed to be like an autobiography, or he pretends it is, and it blows up. And then so he's like, "Oh gosh, what do I do now?" Like he has to pretend to be this guy who he isn't, and that's the whole hilarity of the movie. But it doesn't. That feels almost like a subplot. Really, the main plot is about him growing with his family, and then eventually like dating some girl. Not just some girl. She's like hella bad, but like dating
Yeah.
a woman.
Well, I think they need the subplot to make it like possibly Oscar bait. Because come on, like anything that has anything to do with like war, particularly, or anything to do with race, usually gets like Oscar baited.
Yeah, for sure. But no, it's really
Yeah.
good. It's really meta. It's really funny. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
There's some hilarious bits in there. It's great. But I would definitely recommend it. I'd probably give it like an 8.5 maybe out
Oh
of 10.
shit. Okay.
Um,
Damn. Now I have to see this. I was
I
curious at first, but now it has my attention. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. I definitely watched it again. I think it was great. Jeffrey Wright. Some of it's like really sad and tragic, but it's really well
Mm,
done. It's a good movie. Definitely
yeah.
check it out. And then tonight we're gonna go see Poor Things, which I think won a couple Golden Globe. I think like Emma Stone took the Golden Globe for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I can't remember what else it won, but we want to check it out. So, and it's also probably
Yeah.
gonna be like at the Oscars for sure. So,
Oh yeah.
let's check it out while it's still in theaters.
Because it's basically a very artistic version of Frankenstein.
Oh, okay, cool. I
Yeah,
did
because
not.
the character that she plays is basically a corpse that was revived by a brilliant scientist, but the body is an adult woman, but the mind is that of a child. So like she's learning new things like a child would, but as a grown woman.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Like
I'm
basic
yeah,
things like morality, right and wrong, normal social behavior. How to act in public and shit.
totally okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about the movie. I just see things on Twitter and stuff, and I know Mark
Yeah.
Ruffalo's in it, Willem Dafoe's in it. I'm really excited to watch the movie. Love Emma Stone. She's a great actress.
She is phenomenal. Like, oh god, La La
She's
Land.
great.
She was great in that.
That's one of my favorites. With her. Her and Ryan Gosling have such chemistry. They're rad. Ryan Gosling's amazing too. He's like a very versatile actor. Um,
He is. He really
I
is.
think
I
he. I
still
think
think The
he
Nice
won.
Guys is definitely his best work. Like that is phenomenal. Of like action, comedy, just like great everything. It's just so good.
He's really fun. It's funny to see him play like a bumbling idiot.
Yeah.
Who has his moments in movies? It's great. Speaking of another movie, I saw at home this week. I haven't actually finished it yet. I'm like just so it was funny. I was at the like last 20-ish minutes, and then my friend was like, "Hey, let's like I'm just out of my meeting. Let's go meet up last night." Anyway, so um, so I saw The Equalizer. So The Equalizer with
Ooh.
Denzel. Never seen it. It's actually like it's really dope. It's he's always. I mean, Denzel's great. He's always great at what he does. Um, yeah, the movie overall is it's really fun. It's really entertaining. It's um,
That's the one where he's a CIA agent who's like retired, but then he sees a bad thing going down. He's like, I got to get back into the game just to like do something about it.
yeah. So like it's interesting. He's like a cold stone killer with like a stone cold, not cold, stone cold killer. He's not a fucking ice cream killer. That man does not eat calories for days. Actually, in the movie, there's a whole poignant thing about it. Anyway, so he's a stone cold killer. He but he's like got a heart of gold. So he's like he does awful shit to like do good things. So like the beginning of the movie, it's like it starts with like he kills a bunch of Russian dudes after they like, beat up a prostitute he knows, who's like this young girl, who's played by the same woman who plays Hit Girl in Kick Ass. I don't know the actress's name. I wish I did. She's awesome.
Chloe
Um,
something. Yeah.
Thank you. Um, and then like one of the other and that sort of drives the whole plot because then the Russians are pissed at him and going after him, and then he like he does another thing he does uh he beats up some corrupt cops who like take protection money from people and like burn down his homies like his homie's mom's taqueria, and then uh, and then like he another thing he does is like there was like a robber at the store he works at like a home goods store like a Home Depot type of shit, um, which at the climax of the movie there's a whole bunch of baddies in the store that like take over and take his friends slash coworkers hostage, and he has to go save them and stuff. Anyway, um, and so there's like a earlier in the film there's like a guy who mugs one of his coworkers, and he watches and just sort of stands by and lets it happen. He takes like a valuable ring of hers that's like her mother's ring or whatever, and then like he goes to hunt him down. It doesn't even show him doing that. It just like implies that he did, and like he returns the ring back to the coworker anonymously. So he's like doing all these good deeds because he's got like a heart of gold, but he's like this fucking like John Wick type motherfucker. Um, and it's crazy. Some of the like the kills he does in the movie are nuts.
So he's definitely a lawful neutral type character. He's like, I have a particular code and whatnot, but I will easily smoke a motherfucker if you do something wrong.
I think he's like, well, he's unlawful good then, I guess, in that capacity, wouldn't he be?
I don't know. I mean, paladins are qualified as lawful good most of the time, but I don't know. The fact that someone that can basically commit near genocide and still be considered, the best of boys, I don't know how that works. I'm trying to wrap my head around that.
Wait, why are you bringing up genocide?
Because the common joke with paladins is that they are so devoted to their cause and whatnot, they will basically
Oh,
kill various people like they're a Templar knight in like 1180. Like,
that's cool.
and if you know anything about your history in 1180, holy shit, the Templars were just basically murking anyone that's brown and non-Christian. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah, anyone
that's
that's a heathen, basically.
that's how it goes. I think humanity screwed up when the first monkey looked at the sun and said, "He told me that you should give me all your shit." Um,
He looked the first monkey looked up at the sun and said, "He told me to tell you to give me half your shit."
yeah. It's all downhill from there.
Yeah,
But no, the Equalizer's sick. So, um, it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. It's got some dope kills. I haven't finished it yet, so I want to finish that. I'm gonna try to
yeah.
do that. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow morning before D&D because I'll be here. I'll be waking up here, yeah, and then I don't have to go until like around 10 or something.
Yeah,
I'm usually up by like 8 anyway to take my medications.
yeah.
Um, what else have I been doing this week? Now, this week's been pretty laid back for Actually, it's been really laid back. So like last,
That's
let's see, you and
good.
I recorded like last Thursday, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So let's see. So last Friday, oh, my girl and I kept it chill. She cooked pho for the first time, which was like really dope, and we just watched TV and hung out and stuff. And then Saturday, Saturday was. Oh well, yeah. So my okay, so yeah, my car was like having startup troubles last week. And so like it would like be I'd have to keep the key turned for a little bit to get it start back up, and so like it happened starting like the Sunday before, and so my girlfriend's dad looked at it and did his assessment. It was fine. There was some corrosion on the battery, um, but then so I was like, it happened all week. It happened a couple times all week, and so I was like, you know what, I just gotta make it till Friday, or I gotta make it till Saturday so I can go take it in to get it checked out, and then I got
Yeah.
it checked out on Saturday day, and so it was at low voltage, so I had to get that. It was like a very low voltage, the guys said, so they replaced it for like 200 something bucks,
Oh,
which wasn't
well.
bad. And I was supposed to get a tattoo filled in last week, but my tattoo artist I guess forgot because he was in Tahoe when I showed up, and then so I'm getting it filled in this Tuesday instead, and
Yeah.
then. What else? Oh yeah, that night actually was really dope. So Kate and I we went to go see we went to Santa Cruz to go to the Catalyst to see this band Flamingos in the Tree. It's a friend of mine from high school recommended it to me because I guess their cousin is the bassist, which was sick. They were very cool. They're like this indie band. For the viewers at home, check out their Sunsets I Shared with You record. I think that's what it's called. That's a really good one. That was the one I listened to last year, and they have a great stage presence. They have a great sound. They're super fun, and the opening band for them was really cool too. It was this band called Mom Cars from Sacramento.
Oh.
Um, they had their album Closer is really dope too. They also
Okay.
had a six stage presence. I love the lead guitarist. He was just hitting licks, dude. Anyway,
Oh, damn. Okay, in terms of sound for like both groups, what would you compare it to?
so Mom Cars is like a hard rock kind of alt rock kind of sound, almost like some Royal Blood or maybe like I don't know, Highly Suspect maybe. Um,
Probably a little bit of Breaking Benjamin in there too.
oh yeah, maybe a little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then for Flamingos in the Tree, it's like an indie funk kind of sound. It's like very um man, what's a good comparison? It's like
Like you could think as far as like decade maybe. Like would you compare it to like mostly like kind of like a 60s, 70s or 80s kind of sound or like maybe late 90s, I don't know.
yeah, Flamingos in the Tree. They're like what can I compare them to? Let's see. They are very like it's kind of like oh man, I'm trying to figure out what would be a good comparison. Um,
Well, if we do figure it out, we can put it in post always cuz you boy the editor here.
yeah, I'm trying to hold on. Let me do this. I'm gonna look at their Spotify and see what artists are recommended under that. So let's see.
Oh, that's a smart idea
Tree.
actually. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, cuz Spotify is pretty good at like
and it's also like
consistency in terms of like style and sound. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, they're kind of like Yacht Club or let's see. Maybe a modern band to compare would be like Always or
Okay. Okay.
they're a little bit like Group Love, maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, kind of like that.
All right. Well, viewers, be sure to check them out. I certainly will. Like they sound interesting for sure.
They're great. I think they're super fun.
Yeah.
They were great on stage. They were super dope.
Mhm.
Definitely check them out. That was a fun night. So we did that. And then Sunday I think was chill. Yeah, Sunday. So I ended up watching a couple football games. And my friend hit me up because his friend slash coworker was like playing like a local like hockey game. I guess they're like a really local team. I don't know what kind of league it would be called into. Maybe it's like I don't know what level of league it would be, but it was really fun. So we were just hanging out at the Sharks Ice in San Jose. Watched that. Got some food. Um, We hung out there for a while. We came back here. I showed them Good Time, which I don't really think they much enjoyed, but that's okay. It's a pretty anxiety-driven movie.
It's an interesting film. It's not for everyone. I totally get that.
It's a pretty intense one. I also don't appreciate. I mean, I get why it had to. We talked about this. It's like I don't
Yeah.
appreciate that. Like in the movie, the character had to make out with a 16-year-old. That's like fucking weird.
Yeah, pretty gross.
Pretty weird. But so see, that was Sunday, and then Monday was Mean Girls. Tuesday, I hung out here, and I think I watched like another movie with my boy. Which movie did we watch that day?
Do you remember the genre? Was it science fiction, crime, thriller, horror?
um what did we watch? I remember we were like talking about. He showed me a music video. I told him about the Jewish tunnels. Um,
Well, I don't know why Barbarian just popped into my fucking mind, but I thought Tunnel, and I thought, oh, Barbarian.
oh yeah, that's Mad Tunnels. That movie's nuts.
God, that is a good fucking movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
It'll come to me. It'll come to me what we watched. It's been this week's just been kind of slow, so it's been like kind of like
Yeah.
keep track of stuff, and it feels like a lot of stuff has happened.
Yeah, a lot of stuff has happened in the news. I mean, fucking hell. Mr. Beast possibly partnering up with Twitter, just exclusively posting videos onto Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, well, I say Twitter, but really it's X for anyone out there, the website formerly known as Twitter. No, it's a long story, but basically someone, I don't know if it was Elon himself or someone in his fucking, like, sycophant group, like, posted the video, and it was a 4-month-old Mr. Beast video, and it got, like, a ton of views, and there was talks about whether or not, like, Mr. Beast will be properly monetized for it through Twitter. Enough as an incentive to actually have him just move straight to Twitter and post videos there instead of just on YouTube. So
Oh, okay.
I don't know how that will work because I'm pretty sure like literally any penny that Elon Musk is going to make from any advertisers left on Twitter is just going to go to Mr. Beast for whatever fucking reason. I don't know how that's a win. So,
yeah, well,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Gets more people on the brand, I guess. He's trying to rescue it, but
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, it's just like he fucking killed it. Like, it's just like not even the buying it was like it was one of the nails in the coffin for sure.
Yeah.
Lots of carbs in the beer.
No, you're good.
But it's like it's
It's the amount of like people left just advertising and giving money to this fucking guy. It's like
it's his right wing shit. It's just the name itself is so like he's just obsessed with the letter X. Like I don't know why. Like he tried the same thing with. I mean I mentioned this before. I'm sure he tried the same thing with PayPal. The board of execs was like, "You're a fucking idiot. Get the fuck out of here."
exactly.
Kicked him off, and like it's just like I don't understand. I don't understand why he's so stupid.
Yeah, the only people giving him money left is like GOP candidates trying to like run for the upcoming election and whatnot.
And now there's just porn advertisements on fucking on X, Twitter, whatever you fucking
or cryptocurrency scams or like fake products that you're probably not going to actually see come in your mailbox because they're not
weird
real.
AI shit. Like I don't.
Yeah. Oh god. Honestly, the best ad he probably had going for him was the fucking jack off pants from Bait World. That's the only legit product that actually you're getting what you pay for.
The Jack and Joggers. What were they called?
The Jack and Joggers, or also known as the J off pants.
The J off pants. Yeah, I love those.
J O pants, I think. Yeah.
J O pants. That's just crazy. Like what? Like you literally how quick are you to get a nut off that you can't just take off your whole pants and like jerk off? You can still put your dick through the hole, like,
or just jack off like an average American citizen. Like if you're fucking cold, wrap a blanket around you strategically, and then do the deed. So
yeah, sure. I've done that
it's funny you cheap blankets around. You don't need to pay $80 for a pair of sweatpants just so you can pull your whole cock and balls out.
They're $80 for jerk off pants.
And that's the sale price. That's the fucking sale price they're going for. I don't know what the full price is. I don't even want to imagine.
Why you spend I once bought like $85 sweatpants from this one website, but they're tie dye.
Yeah,
I think I did that twice actually because I have 2 different tie dyes from that same site from Rip and Dip.
There you go.
But they're like great designs. They're fun to wear. Like, why the fuck? why in the fuck do you need fucking like why do you, they're just boring pants with a big hole for your tiny dick. Like why do you
Yeah.
need jack off pants? Like what the fuck, man? Like there's
Unless you
nothing
built
special.
like Lexington Steel or Shane Diesel, you ain't need a giant hole
Unless
for
unless,
that fucking
unless you got
package,
a
man.
unless you got a dick like Danny D, you don't need that. You don't need that hole, man.
Oh my god, like that's insane to me. Like Jesus Christ. Like
Literally nuts.
literal moose cock. That's what you need that opening for. Not like the average American citizen, okay? I guarantee
You
you.
need a dick like a Pringle can. That's what that fucking hole is for. Right?
My dick built like a Pringles can.
Not for real, bro.
Yeah, it's a travel size from the gas station. That's what I'm packing.
It's fucking like that. He was.
Yeah, it's built like a fucking tuna can. It's just fat and it's short.
It's real as fuck. Nah, dude. That's crazy.
Two movies I did see recently. Well,
Oh wait, hold on. Before
recently.
you, I just remembered the movie I saw on Tuesday.
You did?
I showed my friend Howl's Moving Castle, the Studio Ghibli movie.
Oh yeah.
Which is great. You got Christian Bale playing like Howl, and it's like super fun and interesting and just like really cutesy. Not a lot. It's kind of Ghibli movies. It's kind of like not a lot happens, but there's a whole narrative, of course.
Yeah.
Like My Neighbor Totoro, right? Nothing fucking happens in that movie, but it's
Yeah.
just they're just hanging out with some, woodland spirit, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Isn't
yeah,
there
it was.
always like an element of like dealing with life or grief like in those films, and then at the same time they also have the freakiest little guys you've ever seen in your entire life, but you fall in love with them instantly.
Yeah, it's about like they often explore like yeah, definitely life. A lot of like the relationship between man and nature. Like that was kind of one of the sub themes in Howl's Moving Castle is like there's like man is waging war on its environment and that's hurting Howl because of his magic and stuff. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful little whimsical movie. It's really fun. He's got a traveling house, which is sick,
Yeah.
uh, and so yeah, and then Billy Crystal plays the fire, Calcifer. That was sick. Anyway,
Love me some Billy Crystal.
love me some Billy Crystal. But When Harry Met Sally, unbelievably great rom com. Probably one of the best in history. So what were the two movies you watched? Let's get back on that subject.
Two movies I saw was finally Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio and Bodies, 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 starring Pete Davidson, Lee Pace, Maria Bakalova. I hope I'm pronouncing that.
I think it's Maria Baklova. Yeah,
That's what it is, yeah. I certainly hope I'm pronouncing that right. She's fucking great in that movie.
I love
God
her.
damn it.
She's awesome. She's adorable in interviews. I think she's
Yeah.
great. She's a wonderful actress. She was hilarious in Borat. Oh my god, unbelievable.
Oh, the fact that she can keep up with like Sacha Baron Cohen like that, like, is just that's a talent in itself.
That
Like,
is
that's
a talent, dude.
incredible.
That motherfucker is raunchy and wild. Anyway,
He's
so
off the
what
fucking wall.
you think, man? Tell me about Pinocchio. Was sick. All right, so start with that.
Pinocchio was sick. I will admit, I fucking cried. Like, Jesus Christ, did they really have to get that existential? Like, god damn it.
It really, it's a tearjerker, man. It's
Yeah.
really.
And also, like, the Carlo story they have at the beginning of the movie, obviously that's not in the actual book. The name they actually borrowed was from the author of the original story.
Oh,
Yeah. But they had it as a means to, like have a proper lead up into, the main story of Pinocchio, the wooden boy that becomes alive and then deals with life and whatnot and learns to, the ropes are behind it, yeah.
hmm wow. I mean, I think what really helped with that is like it made it kind of a narrative about a grieving father, um, who like and who has to relearn to be a father. Because God, it was fucking sad in the beginning when he's like grieving
Yeah.
over his kid. He's like all an alcoholic and shit, and like
Yeah.
it's crazy. And then I loved Ewan McGregor as Jiminy Cricket. I think he did a great job. He was just
Yeah.
wonderful. He was whimsical. I love the one of my favorite lines is the you can only do your best, and that's the best that anyone can do. Like that's wonderful. It's cute. It's like really really meaningful. I love
Yeah.
I love the whole Nazi sort of overtones too, and all that exploration there, and 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 all that. It was really well done.
Yeah, no, it hits all the marks in terms of like just great style, presentation, amazingly stacked cast. Oh my fucking god! You had the hall monitor, David Bradley, who played the hall monitor in Harry Potter, Filch.
Oh yeah, he was. Well, he
He was Geppetto, yeah.
he played Geppetto, and then you got Ewan McGregor, as I mentioned. You got Christoph Waltz as
The
the
circus
guy.
master who like tricks Pinocchio into like working for him, and then that
Yeah,
you know how that part goes. And then
Kate Blanchett plays the monkey.
yeah, and then they had
Sadly.
Finn Wolfhard as the other kid in the movie, Candlewick.
Oh shit, that was Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and his dad in the movie, his fucking
Ron
fascist.
Perlman.
Yeah, his fascist dad is played by Ron Perlman. Yeah,
Yeah, that movie's sick, dude.
yeah, amazingly stacked cast, really well done. The existential themes were really well done too. Like not just the whole like the puppet that learns to live like a human and become a real boy, but like dealing with the trials and tribulations that come with that. The whole only one life, and like you got to make the most out of it.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's really well done. It gets real heartbreaking near the end, but like also like a melancholy, like kind of like sadness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. It's great. Wonderful movie. I love watching it. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is one I have to watch. I watched it only once in the theaters. Thought it was fucking hilarious.
Oh my god, the scathing critique on like Gen Z culture is like phenomenal. It's so well done. Oh my god. Because like you and I were basically just born before that generation, so like
Well, I think I'm in that generation. It's all arbitrary, right? So it's like there's certain
yeah,
cutoffs. I think 90s, 95 or 96 is the cutoff for millennials. And there's actually a new term they're dubbing called zillennials, which are individuals born in the late 90s who like don't necessarily they grew up with some of the stuff the millennials did. They grew up with a lot of the stuff the Zoomers did. So it's all arbitrary, but
well, because we definitely fit near the cutoff point for like millennials and the start of Gen Z, because some of our vernacular is very similar to what Gen Zers use. But there are certain things I still don't get with Gen Zers, like the fucking skibidi toilet. I really don't get that.
I haven't followed a single piece of that, but it's.
Or the use of the term gyat, or like
I'm trying to catch up
Riz.
on that one. I don't know what that means. Actually,
Riz, I've kind of gotten used to the
well,
term of, but like,
Riz is short for charisma, so that one's really
yeah.
easy. What
But
is
fucking
yeah?
Ohio, like I'm already done with those memes. Okay, I'm done.
Wait, Ohio.
Yeah, for some reason, like they use the term gyat, Riz, skibidi, and then Ohio all together. I don't get it. I really don't.
The slang "yacht" is an exclamation used to express excitement or shock, especially in reaction to seeing large buttocks or a voluptuous woman.
Oh, is that what gyat means?
It is often used as a hashtag in videos of curvy women, or much less often men. As a noun, "yacht" is typically used to mean okay, so it means just you got a fat ass.
Well, I'll tell you what. Major pectorals on Instagram. That man has got some gyat.
No, for real.
Yeah.
All right, so according to the New York Post, Gen Zers are those adorable digital natives born between the years of 1997 and 2012. All right, so I am a Zoomer. Okay,
You fucking
um,
zoomer. God damn it.
I'm a fucking Zoomer.
Uh,
Let's see,
no
said to
wonder you're
be
depressed. No, I'm kidding.
okay. So "gyat" is apparently an abbreviation for "god damn."
Oh my god.
The term is usually employed upon observing an attractive woman, typically online. Okay, so
Wow.
pretty much
Alright.
"gyat" is just an exclamation of like, "Oh my god, she got a big ass." It's like that Al Pacino line in Heat. She's got a great big ass.
He's got a great ass.
It's just him saying "gyat," you know.
God. No, yeah, I saw Bodies, 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 and it was fantastic, honestly. Like, the scathing critique on Gen Z is phenomenal, along with the, like, who done it murder mystery thriller aspect to it. It's very well done. But personally, out of the two movies I did see, in that same following week, basically, I did like Pinocchio a little bit more, because it's just a very heartwarming tale that really touches on with everybody. Whereas Bodies only fits a very niche kind of audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like Bodies is fun in a different capacity. I think like
Yeah.
Pinocchio is like a really powerful storytelling done by I think one of the greatest directors alive. Guillermo, I love you. You're
Yeah.
amazing.
Your
I
Hellboy
love every.
franchise, phenomenal. I'm still mad that we didn't get a third one because you would have fucking done something extraordinary with it. I can feel it right
I
now.
heard apparently I think it was him and Neil Gaiman. There was an idea for them to direct a Doctor Strange movie several years ago.
I'm not that as mad as that. Along with the talks of him directing a Justice League Dark movie, and they already had an idea for the casting for that movie, and it would have been fucking phenomenal. They would have had Monica Bellucci as Zatanna, all right? They would have had Ron Perlman as Swamp Thing,
Oh my god, that would have been sick.
and Ewan McGregor as Jason Blood / Etrigan the Demon.
That would have been sick.
It would have been fucking sick. I don't know who they would have casted as Constantine. I think they were in talks to get Colin Farrell, which he would have done a great job. But
He would have done a great job.
honestly, Matt Ryan from the show Constantine, as well as his reappearances in the Arrowverse with Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, he would have been great too because he already nailed the role as Constantine. He's a great fucking Constantine.
He is, yeah. Matt Ryan's great.
I'm so mad that both of these things fell through and we didn't get them. God fucking damn it.
Yeah. It's
No.
bullshit.
All right, so I think with that, we should wrap up the podcast. Sorry to end it so abruptly, but time waits for no man.
Indeed, it's been an hour and we're not working overtime here, the 9 to 5 boys.
Exactly. We're closing up, bars shut down, everything, man. Come on.
We are shutting down. Get the fuck out.
Exactly.
No patience.
I ain't even doing the punch out sign because we're already punched out. We're just like cleaning the tables.
We're fucking done. Good night, good day, good morning, goodbye.
See you next time.